games in a row. Puck is dropped, and we are underway. New Jersey in their home white uniforms with the red and black trim, befitting a team from the Garden State. They'll skate from left to right on your screens at home. Norwich in their road red uniforms, skating from right to left, as this is Tim Hayden breaking up a 2-on-1 early on. Hayden will send this all the way down the ice. And just 19 seconds into the first period, we have our first whistle and our first face-off in the Norwich Sea Captain zone. The officials for this afternoon's game, the linesmen are Dylan Rodriguez-Scabelli and Glenn Livingstone. The referee is Max Latin. Here's a shot from the point, saved by Pellerito, cleared out by Hayden once again. This one may actually roll in on goal. No, just off the side of the net. And back to touch up is the German defenseman Sam Senft. And once again, we'll do it all over in the Norwich Sea Captain's end. And you take a look at the leading scorers for these teams. Ethan Ranger still averaging over a point per game for the Sea Captains. He's got 9 goals and 9 assists in 17 games played. Not bad for Ethan Ranger, and certainly gives his younger brother Harrison something to look up to. Meanwhile, for New Jersey, Taito Ishigaki, 18 points, 18 games, 7 goals and 11 assists lead the Titans. Through center ice, this goes off the stick of Hicks, and he gets it down deep. Ethan Ranger, the first one there. Ranger sends around far side where he picks up Cam Holton. Holton, with the puck along the boards, can't get it around the defense of Ishigaki. And getting crushed down in the neutral zone is Troy Harwell. Harwell wasn't too happy with that. Harwell then takes a two-handed swing at a Titans player. That's going to be a penalty. And with a minute and 13 seconds gone by in the first period, Troy Harwell finds himself in the box for the Sea Captains, and we get to see the New Jersey Titans power play for the first time this afternoon. Well, just an undisciplined play, unfortunately, for Harwell, as he wasn't happy how he was ridden down to the ice like he was on a sled, or rather like he was a sled. Either way, the New Jersey Titans, they come in with a power play that converts on 27.3% of their opportunities. Meanwhile, Norwich, the penalty kill, certainly an area that could use some improvement. They kill off 66.7% of their penalties. Sent down into the corner. Sachs gives along for Holton, and Holton will clear it all the way down. Tegan Byer on the forecheck. Getting there first is Noah Scherf. He'll send around far side. Puck left, and now up ahead it's Jesse Dickinson. Dickinson to the outside, gets around Sachs. Dickinson thought about cutting towards the slot, now sends one through the crease. Intercepted by Holton, and Holton gets it as far as the red line. Now Scherf again. Dickinson wanted to dump down. That goes off the glove of Byer, and the Sea Captains will clear. 45 seconds gone by on the power play. New Jersey with a pair of shots on goal before this power play. They have not recorded a shot on goal so far with the man advantage. Here's Dickinson dishing along. Getting turned around at the blue line was Hicks, and so he has to retreat back. Now Ishigaki nearly overskated the puck in the neutral zone. Gave it along where he finds Ryan Kenna. Kenna gives back Ishigaki. Ishigaki in the corner, now cycling behind the net. Goes back up to McKinney at the point. McKinney for Ishigaki. Down low, Kenna. Kenna in front, they score! Ryan Kenna, a power play goal. And with 17:27 to go in the first period, New Jersey leads it 1-0. Some tic-tac-toe passing by the Titans power play unit. Utilizing that extra player just the way head coach Lenny Caglione had drawn it up. For Kenna, it is his 7th goal of the season, his 6th coming on the power play. And tells you how dangerous this New Jersey power play is, where Ryan Kenna now has 7 goals in the season, and 6 have come with the man advantage. So now the Sea Captains playing from behind. Aiden Bain can't soccer that one on down. Chasing after it's Cameron Burns, and he forces Pellerito to hold on. Then Burns knocks the stick out of Tim Hayden's hands. But a gentleman in Nick Sachs hands it right back, and we'll have a face-off in the Norwich zone. 17:08 to go in the first period. New Jersey leads it 1-0. Brian Lupo on the draw against Ethan Ranger. On a 50-50 draw, it's controlled by New Jersey. Here's McKinney from the point going wide of the cage. Manahan chasing after this. Getting there first was Aiden Cook. Cook couldn't get the puck much deeper in the Norwich end. Now turned over at center ice. And McKinney sends back on down into the C-Cap zone. Here's Lupo in the corner. Wanted to cycle behind the net for Jacob Renbarger. Renbarger eventually picks it up. Goes back to Scherf at the point. Scherf can't hold the blue line, and so he'll retreat further back. Giving along now Lorenzo Morelli. Morelli for Lupo. Lupo lost possession of the puck. Aiden Bain in his own end looking to get it out, and he gets it as far as the red line. Now Ishigaki along for Noah Scherf. Scherf sent that into the Norwich end. Cam Holton came by, added a body as well. New Jersey still controls the puck. And now at center ice, sent on down once again by Aaron Hicks. Hicks turned around at the blue line. Holton, Byer gets drilled into the board. Sam Sempt coming up, and now Troy Harwell gives a cross check to Sempt. That's going to be another penalty coming up against the Sea Captains. Pellerito touches it up behind the net, and Troy Harwell will go to the penalty box for the second time in the first 4 minutes and 2 seconds of this game, this time for cross-checking. Harwell pleading his case with the referee, and now Harwell picks up an additional 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So with 15:58 to go in the first period, and Norwich still looking for their first shot on goal, they're going to find themselves on the power, or rather on the penalty kill again. And it looks as though we're going to have to visit the scorer's table, as now finally they get it right. 4 minutes on the board against Troy Harwell, and an arduous task up ahead for the Norwich Sea Captains. It's Tegan Byer starting things off with the face-off win. Now Kenna controls in the corner, goes back to the point. Slid down low. Hicks fans on the shot. Moran came by to block it. Knocks it into the corner. Cam Holton picks it up, and the Sea Captains are able to break out 2-on-2. Holton at the blue line gets run into by Isaiah McKinney. Sempt goes around far side. Here's Kenna. Off the skates of Holton. Holton sends back down. Alfalma behind the net for McKinney. Giving along Sempt. Norwich certainly happy if the Titans just remain in their own end. It's turned over at the red line, and Holton will clear it down once again. 40 seconds gone by in the 4-minute penalty. McKinney working out from behind his own net. Gives along to Sempt. Off the stick of Hicks, turned over, and sent all the way down the ice by Jamison Bain. Bain out on this penalty kill as a defenseman. Now makes his way back to the bench. Jamison Bain has been one of the players for the Sea Captains who has certainly answered any bell that's been rung for him. By trade, he's a defenseman, but he's found himself as the first-line center at times so far in this season, and he's looked good at it, too. Here's Scherf at the point. Given along, sharp angle attempt gets blocked before it ever made its way through to Pellerito. Puck behind the net. And now Kenna looking for an option, has Blazak in the front. Sachs ties him up. Blazak can't take the shot. Here's Dickinson with the drive, and he misses wide to the glove hand side. Sempt picks up the loose puck. Has it roll off his stick. Schemmel unable to clear. Titans remain on the attack. Behind the net. Here's Blazak. Goes back Sempt at the point. Sempt a shot. Blocked by a teammate. Getting in the way of that was Parker King. King only playing in his second game as a Titan, as we have a whistle, a hand pass called against New Jersey. And so the face-off should come out of the zone. Referee wanted to speak to a couple players out there as Drew Schemmel nearly got himself into some penalty trouble. But Schemmel remains innocent. He'll head back to the bench. 14:03 to go in the first period. 2:05 to go in the Titans' power play. New Jersey out shooting Norwich by a 4-0 margin, as the Sea Captains have not had very much time in the offensive zone early in this game. Sea Captains, for anybody on the East Coast, having to deal with the I-95 traffic coming on down from the Rose of New England. Without traffic, it's about here to Middletown, it's about 3.5 hours. The trip this morning took significantly longer than that. It took about 5 and change just to get here. So an abbreviated warm-up for the Sea Captains, as they're still getting their legs underneath them. 13:44 to go in the first. On the draw is Jack Kinahan. Kinahan was the first-round pick of the Norwich Sea Captains in the NA3HL draft held over the summer, number 3 overall, and he's lived up to that billing. Here is McKinney. Turned around, and now here comes Kinahan, short-handed, one-on-one. Kinahan, a shot, glove down by Alfama, and he'll hold on for a face-off to his right. And with 6.5 gone by in the first, that's the first shot on goal by the Sea Captains in this game. Also going to be the first offensive zone face-off that they've had, but short-handed. Let's see what they can do with it. It'll be Tegan Beyer and Aiden Bain up front, with Tim Hayden and Nick Sachs on the point. Off the draw, Beyer won it a little too well. That goes all the way down the ice. Hayden eventually picks it up. Lost possession as it's poked away by Dickinson. Sachs in support, wraps one around the boards, but not out. Now here's Renbarger at the blue line. Gives down low Dickinson. Dickinson into the near side corner. Dickinson goes back to Scherf at the point. Back for Dickinson. Beyer on the forecheck. Dickinson sends down low for Ishigaki. Now Scherf again at the point, and Ishigaki behind the net. Blazak, a shot saved by Pellerito. In front, they score. Brendan Pellerito made the initial save, and then the puck squirts across the crease. And there to bang it on home for New Jersey was Jesse Dickinson. And with 12:56 to go in the first period, the Sea Captains find themselves down 2-0. And head coach Kevin Cunningham is going to rally the troops here, calling his timeout just 7 minutes and 4 seconds into the first period, but already trailing 2-0. It's a good timeout to take. Try and settle everybody on down, as this is a game the Titans can certainly win. Oh, sorry. But a game certainly that the Sea Captains can win. As you take a look at this New Jersey Titans squad, and due to injuries and a few other things, they're addressing a bunch of players who haven't really played at the NA3HL level. You take a look at Parker King. This is his first game, or rather his second game as a Titan. Going through the rest of their lineup, Aaron Hicks, this is his second game. Jesse Dickinson, who just scored, this is only his 8th game in a Titans jersey. Lorenzo Morelli making his debut for the New Jersey Titans. Morelli, a native of Murano Bolonzo in Italy. And certainly any apologies if I got that town name wrong. Either way, we're back underway. Pellerito sends one into the corner. Pair of players tumble over each other. Holton with the puck underneath him. Poking at it is Lupo, trying to free things up. Lupo in the corner. Pinned up against the wall by Holton. Eventually it pops on out, courtesy of Renbarger. Renbarger can't deal with Holton. Flipped up and out of the zone. Rather it is out of play, as Ethan Ranger went off the glass, and then that went off of one of the I-beams that holds this ceiling up. This arena in New Jersey, just a little bit taller than the Rose Garden Ice Arena down in Norwich. And tall enough here where they're able to have a center-hung scoreboard, although certainly not a large scoreboard. And, well, if you catch a glimpse of it as the play goes from right to left, you'll notice a couple dents on it as well. No idea how those got there. 12:21 to go in the first period. Sea Captains trail by a deuce. Off the glass, sent out towards center ice. McKinney will rope it right back into the Sea Captain zone. Now Hayden Behind the net for Sachs. Falling down on the play was Cook. He's able to get up to his skates. Can't control the puck. But McKinney in support has it knocked off his stick by Schemmel. Schemmel in, and he just missed wide. Schemmel then gets hauled down to the ice. This is going to be a penalty coming up against New Jersey. Schemmel wants a penalty shot. Don't think he's going to get that one, but Isaiah McKinney will head to the box for the Titans. And with 11:57 to go in the first period, we'll get to see the New Jersey, or rather the Norwich power play for the first time in this game. And they could certainly use a goal right about now. Coming into this game, the Sea Captains with a respectable conversion rate of 21.4% on their power play. The Titans, well, they're short. Their penalty kill is something else that they would like to work on. They only kill off 70.4% of their penalties. Off the draw, it's given back to Hayden. Hayden sends one far side for Harwell. Harwell back for Hayden at the top of the umbrella. Now along Harwell again. Harwell off the stick of Byer. Byer on his backhand, a shot shrugged down by Alfama. Not out of the zone yet as Sempt wraps one hard around the boards. Harwell hustling, has that go off the glass, and it's sent off a linesman, picked up by the Titans in the neutral zone. 2-on-2, a long-range shot, easily handled by Pellerito. Another shot from the blue line. Pellerito got a piece of it with his stick. Now here's Kinahan. Kinahan chips up ahead for Nick Sachs. Sachs has trouble controlling it, knocked away by Renbarger. Back to retrieve is Hayden. Renbarger with the soft pressure on the penalty kill that has now seen 50 seconds tick on by. Here's Harwell. Through center ice. Harwell, top of the circle, a shot knocked down by Alfama. Harwell goes back to Ethan Ranger at the point. Ranger gives along for Jamison Bain. Bain and Ranger switch positions. Bain a shot. Punched down by Alfama. Now Ranger again. A sharp angle attempt off the shoulder. Puck is loose in the crease. Alfama doing a snow angel. Somehow manages to get a piece of it. Harwell comes up with the puck. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Harwell, top of the umbrella. His shot deflected on its way through. Schemmel with the shot. That's blocked as well. And the Titans will clear. Boy, Drew Schemmel got drilled with a cross check right in the numbers. Now Ethan Ranger. At his own blue line, tries directing one off the boards, too far for Bain. Sempt will step it on down into the Norwich end. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Tony Moran. Giving back along for Ranger, now with 10 to go on the power play. Off the stick of Jamison Bain. Chipped up ahead by Morelli. Ranger is able to get the puck back, but 2 seconds and one, and we are back to five-a-side hockey. So the Sea Captains with 4 shots on goal on that power play. Still looking for their first goal in the game as a centering feed just out of the reach of McKenna. Outlet pass too far for Schemmel. Here's Morelli. Turned around by Schemmel. Ranger comes up with the puck. Ranger trying to dipsy-doodle his way towards the front of the net. Eventually takes the shot and it ends up behind the net. Getting a piece of it with the glove was Alfama. Pass too far for Ishigaki, but then Ishigaki gets on his horse and beats out the icing call. Now Taito Ishigaki on a tour of the offensive zone, softly sends one down low. First one there is Kenna, first goal scorer in this game. Ryan Kenna eventually gives one along, a shot from the blue line, saved by Pellerito. Loose puck picked up by Dickinson. Goes back to McKinney at the point. McKinney's shot blocked by Manahan. Another shot from the point, and that one bounces wide. Jamison Bain with a pair of forecheckers to deal with. Bain manages to outrace them, and from the blue line, he'll snap one wide of the cage. Puck goes off the glass. McKinney looking to catch up to it. Off the bench, Byer. Byer gets shoved from behind. That's going to be a penalty against McKinney. Flipped over far side. Pellerito was already heading to the bench, and then shooting one into the empty net was Alex Blazak. He has a smile on his face, but his team is going to go on the penalty kill once again, as Isaiah McKinney will once again find himself in the penalty box. This time, he'll sit 2 minutes for checking from behind. And so with 8:35 to go in the first period, we get to see the Sea Captains on the power play once again. They are 0 for 1 so far as Weston McKinney, or check that, Isaiah McKinney, finds himself back in the penalty box for the second time. I know that it's not the first time I've called Isaiah McKinney a Weston. Weston McKinney, for those of you unaware at home, is a midfielder for the U.S. men's soccer team. pretty important piece of the men's team puzzle that they're trying to put together for the World Cup coming up next year. But we're playing hockey here. It's a little bit colder, unless you're playing up in Canada. So on the draw, it's Schemmel, winning one to the near side board. Stolen away, but not out of the zone. Here's Ranger with a drive, blocked by Blazak. Moran picks up the puck in the corner. Goes back to Ranger at the point, along for Jamison Bain. Now Ranger again. Ranger's shot trickles wide of the cage. Looking to clear is Sempt. He sends one around far side. Ranger sprinting to the boards. Can't get there in time. He'll collect the puck at center ice. Now Ranger plays one too far ahead for Jamison Bain. Sempt comes up with it and sends it as far as the blue line where Tony Moran will collect. Moran up for Ranger. He gets shoved from behind by Blazak, and Blazak will send it all the way down. 40 seconds gone by on the power play. Here comes Moran. Both teams in the middle of a change. Moran at the red line. Pays a physical price and has his pass knocked down by Lupo. Titans cleared once again. Now Hayden. Having to retreat behind the net of Pellerito with a minute to go on the power play. Hayden in the corner. Gives up ahead for Cam Holton. Now Holton through center ice. That goes off the stick of Byer. It was Jack Kinahan who Holton was trying to hook up with. Now Hayden for Harwell. 45 to go on the power play. Norwich has not recorded a shot on goal on this power play yet. Here's Hayden as they come five abreast across the line. Hayden a shot. He gets his own rebound and sends it wide. Sempt around the boards and out of the zone. I know that's not exactly the power play zone entry that the Sea Captains normally just draw up, but Tim Hayden had lots of space in front of him, took the initial shot, and on the rebound just sent it wide. Here's Kinahan blowing a tire in the corner, cleared out by the Titans once again. 15 seconds to go on the power play as Jamison Bain goes back to retrieve. Swings along for Sachs. Sachs makes the smart play and gives along for Tegan Byer with 5 to go on the power play. Byer stops his return pass too far for Sachs. Manahan will send it back down into the zone. Penalty has expired, and with 6.5 to go in the first period, we're back to five-a-side hockey once again. Here's Hicks at center ice. Directed away by Moran, and now Manahan into the zone. Manahan a shot. Punched down once again by Alfama. Titans looking to clear, and they will as Hicks at center ice turns the puck over. Picking it up and trying to direct it into the zone was Wilkie Cook. Now Cook blows a tire. Still managed to break the play up. Sent back in by Parker King, and Cook will pick it up again. Wilkie Cook making his debut in the NA3HL in this game. A 03 defenseman out of Stafford, Virginia. Was almost a point-per-game player in Virginia high school hockey. Now applying his trade up in Norwich, and certainly a welcomed addition to the team. Here's Dickinson getting around Hayden. Dickinson on 2-on-1. Dickinson a shot. He scores. Jesse Dickinson goes upstairs, and it's 3-0 New Jersey. For Dickinson, it is his second goal of the game. His third on the season, as he managed to get around Tim Hayden. It turned into a 2-on-1, and I'm not sure if Dickinson saw that Pellerito was leaning or not, but from a sharp angle, goes right underneath the crossbar and makes this a 3-0 game with 5:27 to go. So here's Nick Sachs at the red line. Bounces off a check from Dickinson. Sachs on goal, saved by Alfama. The rebound comes out towards the slot, and now on the sidewall where New Jersey will collect. It's Blazak going around behind the net. Outlet knocked down by Sachs at the red line, turned over. Now here's Hayden at the red line. He'll send it down deep. Behind the net, given along for Sempt. Sempt comes up high on Schemmel. That goes undetected. Sempt gives along, and now the Titans look to break out at center ice. Turned around by Kinahan, sent back down into the New Jersey zone. 4:40 to go in the first period. Turned over here, Schemmel a shot. Great save, Donovan Alfama. Oh, Schemmel with lots of space and got the velocity that he wanted, but Alfama beat him to the low blocker side. Now Senft. Too far for Garnhart. Turned over. Here's Harwell getting knocked down from behind. Senft again. This time he'll sauce one off the boards. Byer chasing after it. Lupo in pursuit for the Titans. Byer gets there first. Goes around for Jamison Bain. Bain has the puck roll off his stick. And now Duke Kirsting trying to free it up. He does. A shot gets blocked by Hayden. Hayden having to deal with Gersting in the corner. Gives along for Bain. And now Troy Harwell with under 4 to play in the period. Here's Harwell just sending it into an area, intercepted by Ishigaki, and he sends back down into the Norwich zone. First one there for New Jersey was Kirsting, knocked off the puck by Hayden, cleared out of the zone. Now here's Byer, gives along for Harwell. Harwell shrugs off a check from McKinney. Harwell a backhand shot, glove down by Alfama, and the faceoff will remain in the New Jersey zone. 3:33 to go in the first period. 3-0 your score. The Titans have scored on the power play. They've scored at even strength as well. The faceoff will be in the Titans zone. Off the draw, it comes around to the near side. Looking to clear it out is Aaron Hicks. Hicks from center ice will send it all the way down. We have a whistle, as I think that actually went off of something out of play. Either way, faceoff is going to remain in the Norwich zone. To the left of Brendan Pellerito. On the draw, Ryan Kenna, who got the scoring started for the Titans. Kenna with a win. Now Morelli at the point. Morelli on goal, deflected in front by Ishigaki wide. Here's Ishigaki on the half wall. Does battle with Holton. Cam Holton looking to clear things out. Instead, it gets soccered back to the point. Coming out with the puck is Scherf. Gives along Morelli. Morelli sent in front. Great save, Pellerito, and he holds on. Oh, Pellerito coming up big on the Aaron Hicks redirection in front of a net. Any deflection is difficult for a goaltender to deal with, but one that's coming basically on the edge of the crease, you got to be in the right position if you have any hope of making a save. And Brendan Pellerito was right where he needed to be. Schemmel on the draw for the Sea Captains with 2:55 to go in the period. Dickinson was a pair of goals in this game, including the most recent goal, pushed up against the wall. Dickinson still with the puck in his skates. Pair of players for both teams trying to poke it on out. Eventually the puck got moved a little bit and ended up right back in the scrum. Now it comes free and ends up behind the net. Hayden gives along for Harwell. Harwell's pass too far for Kinahan. This should be icing against the Sea Captains, and there's the whistle. 2:55 to go in the first period. Norwich now out shooting the Titans by a 13-11 margin. The Titans with a 3-0 lead. So face off to the right of Brendan Pellerito. Off the draw, it's controlled by the Sea Captains and Tim Hayden. Hayden gets around Dickinson, sends this out of play, actually bounces off of our table. Well, that's fun. If you pardon us for a second, we're going to throw a puck back on the ice. Well, we're going to hold on to that puck for now. Might have a good use in practice at the Rose Garden Ice Arena. Voice of the Titans, Tom Willems, having a nice laugh at my expense. Didn't realize we'd be in the shooting gallery here in New Jersey. But either way, we're back underway as Kinahan gives along for Harwell. Harwell chips along Schemmel. Schemmel has it knocked off his stick. Now Hayden following up on the play. From the red line, he'll shovel one in on goal. Alfama simply holds on to the puck, and the faceoff will be to his left with 2:01 to go in the first period. Norwich will change things up. It'll be Tegan Byer up front, centering Josh Manahan and Cam Holton. Tony Moran Jamison Bain on the points. You see the Sea Captains trying to load up on that slot for a shot from the point. Unable to win the face-off. Puck comes out towards center ice. Intercepted by Bain. He sends it back down into the New Jersey zone. Played by the Titans behind the net. Here's McKinney with 1:44 to go in the period. Lupo through center ice. Gives along Renbarger. Renbarger knocked down by Moran. McKinney holds the puck just barely alive at the blue line. Byer had to go off of his skates but was unable to take advantage. Under 90 seconds to play in the first period. Here's Moran with a hard pass. Ends up in the possession of Holton, who gives along near side for Byer. Byer watched closely by McKinney. Sent in front off the stick of Holton. Titans looking to clear as it's flipped up through center ice by Morelli. Hayden fields it at his own blue line. Has his pass go over the stick of Byer and onto the stick of Ishigaki, but offsides is called, as caught behind the play was Cam Burns. He was unable to clear in time. And with 1:05 to go in the first period, we'll have another face-off outside of the Norwich end. Ishigaki, Hicks, and Kenna, the first line for the Titans to finish out the period. Ethan Ranger, Jack Kinahan, Aiden Bain, the first line for the Sea Captains to answer. Here's Kenna sending one into the zone. Offsides is the Titans, and so Tim Hayden will have a moment to think things over. He sends one off the boards, too far for Kinahan. Ishigaki picks it up. Taito Ishigaki, a native of Tokyo, Japan, has certainly impressed in his first year playing for the New Jersey Titans. He'll send one on down deep. Hicks in the corner. Sachs battling through that. Hicks eventually comes up with the puck, goes back to Scherf at the point. Scherf tries to get around Aiden Bain. Throws one towards the goal. That's blocked by Sachs. Ranger shovels it on out. Scherf collects in his own end. 22 seconds to go. Through center ice. Big hit as Jack Kinahan lays a shoulder into Taito Ishigaki. Now here's Morelli into the zone. Morelli a shot deflected off the stick of Hayden and out of play. Faceoff will remain in the Sea Captains' end with 10.9 seconds to go. 200 feet down the ice, Donovan Alfama taking a look at the New Jersey bench, but with 10 seconds to go in the period and already up by 3. Little too many dangerous decisions to pull him to the bench in favor of the extra attacker. Instead, it'll be Jesse Dickinson and Tegan Byer on perhaps the last draw of the period. Clean win by Byer into the corner. First one there was a Titan. Moran was able to send it into the corner. 5 seconds to go. Pass in front. Knocked down was Blazak. Harwell behind the net. Just needs to kill this out, and that's what he'll do. And so in favor of Norwich, but they're down by a field goal. Norwich in their red uniforms with the white and navy trim. They'll skate from left to right on your screens at home as we're underway for the second period of play. Here is Hayden at the blue line. Can't get the puck deep. Ranger, as the third forward high, comes into support and gets back into the play. Sempt will loft this out towards center ice. Knocked down by Sachs, stolen away by Ishigaki. Ishigaki on a breakaway, saved by Pellerito. Nice back check by Kinahan to break things up. Now Garnhart on goal. Deflected save by Pellerito. The rebound goes wide. Kenna shoved into the boards by Sachs. Ishigaki goes back to Garnhart. Garnhart a shot gloved by Pellerito, and he'll hold on as the Titans certainly not taking their foot off the gas pedal. 3 shots on goal in the first 43 seconds of this second period, and an offensive zone faceoff coming up to the right of Brendan Pellerito. It'll be Byer, Holton, and Aiden Bain up front for the Sea Captains. Alex Blazak on the draw for New Jersey. Blazak won the puck along to the boards. Bain trying to come up with it. Byer goes behind the net off the stick of Moran. Dickinson on the forecheck forces a turnover. Now Dickinson along the goal line. Has it knocked off his stick. Moran gives around near side for Aiden Bain. Bain can't get around the defensive Cook. Cook then gets dumped down to the ice by Byer. Tegan Byer swings far side off the stick of Holton towards center ice. McKinney will send it back down. Pellerito leaves the puck behind his own cage. Moran up the boards off the skate of McKinney. Blazak a shot punched down by Pellerito. Off the boards, all the way down the ice. No icing on the play, so Alfama has to come out and play it. Thrown through center ice. Eventually coming up with the puck is Byer. Byer then gets spun down by Cook. Jamison Bain is able to head it on down, and he'll go off for a change. 1:40 gone by in the second period. Here is Cook of Norwich. Sent back down into the Sea Captain's end. Pellerito will leave it for Wilkie Cook. Cook along for Holton. Cam Holton behind the net. Off the stick of Hayden. Schemmel looking to clear. He gets it out as far as the red line. Now Ethan Ranger. Shut off by Renbarger. Lost possession of the puck. Titans regrouping in their own end. Kenna with a long pass. That goes off the stick of Burns. Rolls in on goal, and Pellerito doesn't feel like taking a chance. Face-off will remain in the Sea Captain's end. 17:44 to go in the second period. New Jersey out shooting Norwich now, 15-13 in this game. Off the draw, controlled by the Titans. A hard shot by Sempt from the point went wide. Garnhart keeps it in the zone and then shrugs off a check from Schemmel. Here's Ishigaki. Tries swinging back to Sempt. Kept alive in the zone. Sempt a shot. That's blocked. Then we have a whistle as the Norwich net was knocked off of its moorings. Ethan Ranger was sent into the goal by a Titans player. And because of that, the faceoff will come out towards center ice. Be sure to stay tuned between, or rather during the second intermission. We'll have Alex Curious on our broadcast. Alex Curious is the NAHL Director of Sales and Marketing, watching this game as he gets ready for an NAPHL tournament coming up this weekend here at the Middletown Sports Complex. It's going to be a busy couple weeks for the NAHL staff as they also prepare for the NA3HL Super Tournament out in Blaine, Minnesota. And that will be between December 20th and December 22nd as this gets directed out of play. Face-off will remain in the New Jersey zone. But the Super Tournament, one of the premier events of the season for the NA3HL. And it's the only time that all 30-some-odd teams in the league come together to play against each other. And for the Norwich Sea Captains, their schedule has now been released. Let's take a quick look at it in just a moment. As underway, puck worked into the Norwich zone. Knocked off the stick, and now it's Ethan Ranger taking it back the other way for the Sea Caps. Here's Ranger from the blue line with a drive that goes wide. Moran keeps it in the zone. Sempt comes up with the puck in the corner. Avoids most of a check from Moran. Sempt and Ranger still battling in the corner, eventually given along for Mason Garnhart. Garnhart unable to clear, and so it will be Parker King. Goes back for Sempt. Norwich very conservative in their forecheck, and Sam Sempt sees no reason to push the play. Sempt sends one off the boards, intercepted by Hayden in the neutral zone. Hayden then has that poked off his stick. Jamison Bain along for Hayden. Hayden off the boards, gets it into the New Jersey zone. Drew Schemmel beats out the icing call. Schemmel tries leaving it along for Aiden Bain, intercepted by Garnhart. Garnhart and Schemmel in the corner. Garnhart with the puck pinned up against the wall. Tries playing it up to himself. Gets spun around by Schemmel. Puck still loose. Eventually, Sammy Sempt is able to come up with it. And Sempt tries threading a needle through the neutral zone. Following up on the play. Can't enter into the Norwich zone as he had a couple teammates offside. Eventually, he gets sent down into the Sea Captain's end. And Jamison Bain will pick it up. Over 4 minutes gone by in the second period. Hayden turns the puck over. Lupo has it knocked off of his stick. And Pellerito sees a bouncing puck that he'll clamp down on. Faceoff will be to his right with 15:38 to go in the second period. So, as mentioned, taking a look at the NA3HL Super Tournament on December the 20th out in Minnesota. The Sea Captains will face off against the Yellowstone Quake. On the 21st, they'll face off against the Atlanta Capitals. And on the 22nd, just a couple days before Christmas, they score off the draw. It's Aiden Cook, and it's 4-0 New Jersey. For Cook, it's his first goal of the season. As a shot came from the point, and Brendan Pellerito did not see it. And so less than 5 minutes into the second period, the Titans connect once again. It is 4-0. So the Sea Captains trying to come up with possession of the puck in the offensive zone. It's Tegan Byer looking to get it going. Now Harwell throws one wide of the cage. Alfama sees it behind the net. Tegan Byer, a centering feed, goes all the way back up to the point. Now Moran, his shot gets blocked. Holton sends it into the corner. Cook gets it around the stick of Byer, gives along for McKinney. McKinney turns it over as Moran pinches in from the point. McKinney on a second chance opportunity, puts it about 20 feet up in the air. Puck lands at center ice. Sea Captains looking to regroup. Instead, it's sent all the way down. This should be icing. There's the whistle. The faceoff will come back down into the New Jersey zone. So taking a look at the opponents for the Norwich Sea Captains, the Yellowstone Quake currently have a 4-16-2 record. The Atlanta Capitals just got their first victory of the season. They are 1-18 for the year. That victory came against the Mid-City Junior Stars, who have a record of 7-14. So certainly lots of opportunities for the Sea Captains to make an impact in Minnesota. They have a couple games to get through before they get there. And right now they find themselves trailing 4-0. Puck bounces over the stick of Ranger, and Renbarger sends it out into the Sea Captain zone. Hayden back to retrieve. Timmy Hayden, the Bethel, Connecticut native, sends one off the boards that's outside the reach of Aiden Bain. Titans look to get a 2-on-1 going. Instead, it's turned over. Ethan Ranger leaves it for Sachs. Sachs has that knocked off his stick, and now up ahead it's Aaron Hicks. Hicks behind the net, canceled out by Hayden. Coming in to support is Ishigaki. He goes back to Morelli at the point. Now Ishigaki sends down low for Hicks. Hicks attempted to give back to Ishigaki. That went off of a defensive stick. And Ethan Ranger softly sends it into the Titan zone. Noah Scherf up ahead for Ishigaki. This may be icing. And there's the whistle as Tim Hayden did just enough to stay far enough away from that puck to make sure the linesman didn't wave off the icing. 6:08 gone by in the second period, and the Titans have connected again. It's 4-0. Manahan, Byer, and Schemmel up front for the Sea Caps, with Jamison Bain and Tony Moran on the blue line. Ryan Kenna, who has the first goal in this game, on the draw for New Jersey, lost it to Schemmel. Norwich unable to come up with possession as it's Ishigaki from the red line. He'll send one down deep. A soft dump in. Moran catches up to it behind the net. Sent in front. Dickinson can't control. Now Morelli a drive, and Schemmel might have gotten a piece of that. Manahan looking to clear. Kenna sends it back down deep for Ishigaki. Ishigaki drilled by Moran. That's going to be a penalty. Dickinson comes in on Moran as well. And some animosity developing between these two teams. Ishigaki quickly back up to his knees, and I think Moran came by with a little apology. 13:17 to go in the second period. And let's see what penalties arise out of this, as Jesse Dickinson has to be pried off the pile by a linesman. And if Dickinson goes to the box, that may cancel out whatever power play the Titans were looking forward to. So Dickinson to the box for New Jersey. Moran to the box for Norwich. Looks like we're going to skate 5 aside. And as Moran's going to sit 2 minutes for a checking from behind, and Dickinson will sit 2 minutes for roughing. Actually, it looks like we're going to skate 4 aside for the next 2 minutes. Check that. New Jersey head coach Lenny Caglione would like an explanation from the official on why his team is not getting a power play out of this. The initial call was against Moran, and New Jersey was in line for a power play. However, Jesse Dickinson came barreling on in to defend his teammate and negated that man advantage with his actions. So the faceoff will be in the Norwich zone. For the Sea Captains, it'll be Ethan Ranger alongside Cam Holton up front, Wilkie Cook and Tim Hayden on the point. Alex Blazak up front for the Titans. He's joined by Parker King, Garnhart, and Sempt on the blue line for the home team. Here's Garnhart giving long Sempt. Sempt thought about the shot, instead slides down low. Now Blazak for Sempt. Sempt has his pass knocked off the stick of Holton. Puck goes off the side glass and stays in play. Now Sempt. Knocked out of the zone by Holton. Garnhart back there to retrieve. Hayden on the forecheck. Now he has to get back into position. But instead, we have a whistle. Offsides is called against New Jersey. I think they got away with one as the puck looked like it went off of Isaiah McKinney on the New Jersey bench. Either way, faceoff will be in the neutral zone. 29 seconds gone by in 4-on-4 action. Jameson Bain and Nick Sachs on the points. Troy Harwell, Jack Kinahan up front for the Sea Captains. It's a speedy duo between Harwell and Kinahan. Let's see if they can utilize the extra space out there. Here's Kinahan. Knocked off his stick. McKinney will send it on down deep. Jameson Bain, the first one there for the Sea Captains. He leaves it back for Troy Harwell. Harwell pushed to the near side, gets around 1-4 checker, gets around 2. Now gets around McKinney. Has to wait for the puck to roll to where he is behind the net. Gets met by a pair of New Jersey defenders. Kicks it along for Kinahan. Kinahan goes back for Bain. Bain under pressure wants to go right back to Kinahan. McKinney's there to cut it off, but then McKinney sends it out of play, and the faceoff will remain in the New Jersey end. 12:14 to go in the second period. 57 seconds to go in 4-on-4. Cast of characters will stay the same for both teams. Harwell on the draw against Ryan Kenna. Off the draw, a couple players battle for it. Harwell gets tripped up. He's looking for a call. There's none coming. Kinahan manages to free things up in the corner. Harwell trying to take it off the stick of Kenna. Instead, Kenna goes back behind the net where Noah Scherf is there to pick it up. Scherf gets around both Norwich forecheckers. His pass too far for Kenna. Kenna chasing after us, and he'll beat out the icing call. Now Kenna and Jameson Bain in the corner. Harwell looking to clear it on out. Harwell eventually is able to poke the puck free. Now looking for an option. Sends one that goes through the legs of a pair of Norwich players. And icing is called, as it looked like Alfama wanted to play the puck, but then remembered, hey, if I stay in the crease and this puck isn't on goal, my team gets a face-off at the other end of the ice, and that's exactly what happened. So 11:36 to go in the second, 19 seconds before we're back to 5-on-5. Lupo and Harwell on the draw. Troy Harwell with the face-off win. And now it's Nick Sachs. Sachs, who dealt with a lower body injury for the first half of this season. Glad to see him much more mobile on the ice. Sempt, nifty little stick handling at his own blue line. Opens up a little ice, and he'll send it down into the Norwich zone. Penalties have expired, and we're back to 5-a-side hockey with 11:10 to go in the second period. Turnaround shot, saved by Pellerito. Wrapped around to the near side wall. Tegan Beyer is there. Beyer wanted to connect with Harwell. Instead, defensed away by Renbarger. Now Lupo looking to get it into the Norwich zone. He will. Sachs, the first one there. Sachs wanting to go up the same side wall for Beyer. Goes off the stick of Renbarger. Eventually coming up with it is Troy Harwell. And Harwell plays one off the boards, picks up Kinahan. Kinahan in! His shot goes off the side of the cage as he was tied up by Sammy Sempt. Now Sempt, the German defenseman with his hair flowing out of his helmet, sends one that goes off the ceiling. That one might have landed over by Rink 2 if there wasn't a roof on this place. Middletown Sports Complex building a second rink here in the past 2 years. It is not connected to this building. Instead, you've got a covered walkway where you actually have to go outside. The sidewalk's been covered with rubber matting because, well, walking on concrete isn't a good idea wearing skates. And Ring 2 is home to the youth teams. That call the New Jersey Titans their home. Shot from the point to flex wide. Schemmel looking for the turnaround shot, knocked away by Scherf. Now behind the net. Here's McKinney trying to play it up the wall. He does. Titans able to clear. And at center ice, it's Parker King. King will chip one down into the Norwich zone. Tegan Byer, the first one there. Byer plays off the board. Schemmel. Schemmel unable to clear. McKinney a drive into the breadbasket of Brendan Pellerito. And Pellerito will hold on. 9:44 to go in the second period. New Jersey out shooting Norwich by a 19-16 margin. More importantly, they hold a 4-0 lead on the scoreboard. So face off to the left of Pellerito. Off the draw. Pellerito sees this bounce nearly in front. He was able to get a paddle on it. And then by sliding on over, he knocks the net off of its moorings. And so because of that, the faceoff will remain in the Norwich zone. Ethan Ranger on the draw against Ryan Kenna, and Ethan Ranger with a strong faceoff win. Moran sends one around to the near side boards. Aiden Bain looking to get possession of the puck. Kenna has other ideas. It'll be Ethan Ranger picking it up, and he takes it through center ice. Ranger wants to go through Scherf. Scherf says no. Now Ranger gives along Moran. He scores! Tony Moran off the bar and in. And Norwich is on the board. It's 4-1. Tony Moran with a rifle shot just inside the blue line. And for Moran, it is his first goal as a Norwich Sea captain. It's his 19th game played. Moran's been one of the stalwarts on the blue line for the Sea Captains. Very nice to see him finally collect his first NA3HL point. So now the Sea Captains have cut the lead to 3. They're looking for more. Here's Harwell. Has to be careful. He's already taken 3 penalties in this game. Sent on down into the New Jersey zone. Schemmel on the forecheck. Looks to battle along with Garnhart. Picked up by Kenna. And now Kenna through center ice. Ishigaki picks up a touch pass from Hicks. Ishigaki in front. Saved by Pellerito. And he holds on. Oh, big save by Brendan Pellerito. One of the biggest problems that this Norwich Sea Captains team has had is not being able to capitalize on offensive momentum. It seems as though every time the Sea Captains score a goal, they give one up shortly thereafter. It's difficult to win a game like that. And that's a save that Brendan Pellerito simply needed to make, and he did. Bain gets hit up high by Sempt. Meanwhile, down the ice, Hayden a shot saved by Alfama. Byer draws a penalty coming up against New Jersey. There's the whistle as Tegan Byer was hit by Sempt at the blue line. And after Sempt got away with coming up high on Drew Schemmel, he'll sit in the box. 2 minutes for interference. And we'll get to see the Norwich power play once again in this game. Sea Captains without a power play goal yet so far. And trailing by 3. That would give them even more momentum. Here's hoping. So face-off down in the New Jersey zone. Sea Captains 0 for 2 with the man advantage. They win the face-off and get to work. Here's Ranger giving long. Jamison Bain and now Moran. Back for Ranger, who fans on the one-timer. Ranger picks up the puck at center ice. Gives along for Moran. Moran at center ice. Goes back to Ranger. Ranger sees a bunch of white jerseys in front of him. Eventually he's able to get into the zone where he rattles one around the boards. Jamison Bain and Isaiah McKinney. Now Schemmel with it. Schemmel walking along the goal line. Sharp angle attempt goes off the side of the cage. Moran picks up the loose puck on the near side half wall. Moran another shot blocked by McKinney in front. Now Jamison Bain. 40 seconds gone by on the power play. Ranger a shot saved by Alfama, and then Alfama picks the puck out of midair. And let's see if there's another penalty that is coming out of this. I think there will be, as Cam Holton finds his way to the penalty box. And Norwich head coach Kevin Cunningham is incensed. So Holton's going to sit 2 minutes for slashing, as the referee says that he made a try at the glove of Alfama. And because of that, I'll wipe out the rest of the Norwich power play, and we'll skate 4 aside for 1 minute and 16 seconds before the Titans go back onto the power play once again. It will be their 4th power play opportunity, assuming we don't have any other penalties called in the meantime. So back to 4-on-4 hockey. It's Ryan Kenna and Tito Ishigaki up front for the Titans. For Norwich, Harwell and Byer, Sachs and Hayden, the defenseman. Here's Tim Hayden. Starting out from behind the net of his goaltender, Brendan Pellerito. Hayden hits the blue line, now gaining some speed through the neutral zone. Hayden into the New Jersey end. Fans on the shot. Chases after the puck himself. Hayden comes up with the possession behind the net. Tries feeding Byer, intercepted by Scherf. Now Garnhart with the puck. Harwell on the forecheck, not the stick out of Garnhart's hands, but he had already directed it along for Kenna. Ryan Kenna offsides. And the faceoff will come back out into the neutral zone. Looking around incredulously for New Jersey is Taito Ishigaki. He thought he stayed onside, but the linesman disagrees. And even 7 minutes to go in the second period, 36 seconds to go in 4-on-4 action. And then New Jersey will have an abbreviated power play. And if my math is right, should be about 45 seconds long. Then again, I wasn't a math major, so we'll find out exactly what it'll be. Yeah, it looks like it actually will be 45 seconds. Check that out. Anyway, here are the Titans working out of their own end. It's Dickinson at the blue line. Shrugs off Kinahan. Dickinson into the New Jersey zone. He already has 2 goals in this game. Given along for Cook. Aiden Cook knocked off his stick by Schemmel. He retreats back out, and now Morelli will send it back down into the Sea Captain zone. Pellerito slows it down. Eventually coming up with the puck for only a moment was Moran. Or check that, that's Wilkie Cook. Given back now to Aiden Cook. New Jersey on the power play. They are 2 for 3 so far. Aiden Cook at the point. Throws one on goal, was deflected, and Pellerito still made the save. Unable to clear was Cook. Given back along now Morelli. Morelli shovels one down low. Moran, delayed call coming up. It's going to go against the Sea Captains as Drew Schemmel touches the puck. Schemmel came up high on Morelli in front of the New Jersey bench. And with 5:51 to go in the second period, New Jersey's going to have a 5-on-3 for 12 seconds. And then they'll stay on the power play as Schemmel is going to sit 2 minutes for roughing. So 5:51 to go in the second period. Norwich trailing 4-1. Shots are even right now at 21 apiece. But New Jersey already with a pair of power play goals, one from Ryan Kenna, the other from Jesse Dickinson, have themselves with a short 5-on-3. Jameson Bain, if he can clear, should take care of that. He sends it all the way down the ice. 2 seconds and 1, and now it's 5-on-4. Here's Isaiah McKinney. Senft leaves along for Hicks. Aaron Hicks, a former member of the Sheridan Hawks, goes back behind the net. Now Hicks in the corner. Sent in front off the stick of Kenna. At the point, McKinney a shot saved by Pellerito. McKinney then unable to hold the line. We have a whistle as that puck actually went off somebody on the New Jersey bench. We saw that happen earlier in the game and it wasn't blown down. The official seeing it this time, and the faceoff will come back out towards center ice. 5:17 to go in the second period, and $1:26 to go on New Jersey's power play. Now they're 5th of the game. 2 for 4 so far. Off the draw, Jamison Bain flutters one down the ice. Alfama will leave it aside for Isaiah McKinney. 5:05 to go in the period. Hicks shovels along far side. Ishigaki lost possession of the puck at the blue line. Ethan Ranger is able to get it on out. Now Hayden with a little time in his own end. New Jersey is still off sides. Now they touch up, and Hayden simply winds and fires. This goes all the way down wide of the cage. Boy, if that was on net, would have been difficult for Alfama to handle. 4:40 to go in the second. 46 seconds to go on the New Jersey power play. Jamison Bain chasing after it. He's pursued by Aaron Hicks in a battle of number 22. Ishigaki goes back to McKinney with 35 to go on the power play. Hicks gives along Kenna. Kenna offsides, as breaking into the zone was Aaron Hicks a little too early. Hicks only playing his second game for New Jersey, a native of Lodi, California. It's one of the things with junior hockey. You see players really from all around the country. At the Tier 2 level in the NAHL, they have 3 teams up in Alaska. Thankfully, no NA3HL team has to travel farther than Wyoming. Here is Scherf. Knocked off his stick, but Parker King maintains possession. Gives down low Blazak. Blazak for Dickinson. And now Dickinson behind the net. Curling out. Now top of the slot, a shot, and that goes off the post. Oh, Jesse Dickinson suddenly had lots of time in a dangerous area. Penalty is expired. We're back to 5-a-side hockey. Saved by Pellerito as Parker King wanted to go upstairs, but Pellerito flashes the leather. And the face-off will be to his right with 3:43 to go in the second period. Well, the Sea Captains have shown that they can score. Tony Moran with the goal earlier in this period, his first of the season. His first in the NA3HL, and that's a puck that he'll get at practice. Well, I imagine sometime soon, although with the holidays, practice schedules, of course, will change a bit, but season basically hums right along until that super tournament that we went over earlier in this period. Then everybody has at least a week-long Christmas break. And for some of these players, as Renbarger shoots it out of play, for some of these players, they haven't been home since coming out for camp in August or September. Obviously, we just had Thanksgiving last week. A very happy Turkey Day to everyone at home. Hope everyone got every side dish that they wanted, and I hope that your turkey skin was crisp and tasty. Because really, once you get to the leftovers and you toss that slab of bird in the microwave, it doesn't have that same zip, you know? Anyway, at the red line, sent on down by Cook. Back to retrieve, Wilkie Cook for Norwich. Turned over as Kirsting looks to battle it out of the Zamboni corner. Under 3 minutes to play in the second period. Titans come up with possession. Schemmel and Lupo up against the boards. Now Renbarger, intercepted by Cook. Wilkie Cook, the Stafford, Virginia native, unable to clear. Blowing a tire on the play was Kirsting. Now Troy Harwell in the corner. Harwell up ahead. Schemmel and Kinahan. Kinahan into the New Jersey zone. Tried throwing one on goal. That goes off the stick of Cook. Behind the net. In front, Schemmel, a shot saved by Alfama. The rebound. Alfama gets that one as well. And the Titans are able to clear. Norwich being opportunistic when they get the opportunity. 2 great opportunities by Drew Schemmel. Now Isaiah McKinney goes off the skates of Manahan at center ice. Ishigaki flips one back down into the zone. Under 2 minutes to play in the period. Jamison Bain gets tied up with the New Jersey forechecker. This is flipped out of the zone. Behind the play, Bain and Aaron Hicks still trying to work out their philosophical differences. They're able to separate. And all back in the New Jersey zone. Harwell looks to force a turnover. Instead, it's taken away by Ryan Kenna. Kenna gains the red line, gets around Bain. Kenna, a shot saved by Pellerito. Moran sends one into an empty area. Senft, the first one there for the Titans. Sends one down back into the corner. Moran will pick it up. Tony Moran with the puck on his backhand and a pair of forecheckers to deal with. Neatly sends one off the boards, and now it's Harwell into the New Jersey zone with 70 seconds to go in the period. Harwell's shot goes wide. Ethan Ranger off the bench. Has that knocked off his stick, and now here come the Titans 3-on-2 into the zone. Turned over at the blue line as looking for the pass was Dickinson. He wanted to set up Kenna. Instead, that went off of a Norwich defenseman's skate, rolled in on goal, and Brendan Pellerito wisely decided to hold on. So 59.5 to go in this period. Remember, during the second intermission, we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with Alex Curious, the NAHL Director of Sales and Marketing. Looking forward to a nice little conversation with him, as we'll get an update from around the rest of the NA3HL, and really from the next level up as well. 50 seconds to go. Here's Aiden Bain. Bain's shot gets blocked, or rather, partially deflected. Still ended up on goal. Alfama with the easy save. Faceoff will be to his left with 47.2 to go. Bain, Holton, and Ranger up front for the Sea Captains. Ethan Ranger directing traffic. Loose puck comes out. Sachs with the hit. Couldn't come up with possession of the puck as Scherf, the defenseman, gets around Holton. Sends over far side Dickinson. Dickinson a shot, and getting a piece of it was Pellerito. Puck deflects out of play. Faceoff will be in the Norwich zone with 35.2 to go in the period. Shot number 26 for the New Jersey Titans. An offensive zone faceoff coming up. It'll be Jesse Dickinson, or no, Dickinson will head to the bench. Instead, it'll be Ryan Kenna on the draw against Ethan Ranger. Ranger with the face-off win. Ishigaki now in the corner. Trying to force one towards the front of the net was Kenna. Puck eventually caroms on over to the near side, and then Scherf sends it out of play. Face-off will come out into the neutral zone with 24.1 to go in the period. Well, for a second half of the period, things were flowing nice and smoothly. Apparently, we want to slow things down here in the final minute. So Ethan Ranger and Ryan Kenna on the draw once again. Ranger won the last one. Ryan Kenna wins this one, but stepping on in is Holton. Cam Holton with 20 seconds to go in the period. Holton to the outside. Puck on his backhand looking for a passing option. Now 15 seconds to go in the period. Holton tees up a shot, sends it on goal. Alfama sends it into the corner. 7 seconds to go in the period. Puck in the corner. Titans just want to kill out the rest of his clock. 2 seconds and 1, and that's what they'll do. Goal of the year, Ethan Ranger picking up the helper. It ruins the shutout bid for a New Jersey goaltender Donovan Alfama, who has stopped 23 of 24 shots through 2 periods of play. Brendan Pellerito has stopped 22 of 26. Here's Nick Sachs of Norwich in the corner, looking to work it on out. Norwich in their road dark uniform, skating from right to left on your screens at home for the 3rd period of play. Loose puck at center ice. Senft is eventually able to pick it up, knocked off of his stick by Ethan Ranger, and now here comes Jack Kinahan. Kinahan from a long range away takes a shot on goal. Alfama directs it into the corner. Now Senft gives up ahead. Here's Kenna with some speed. Kenna into the corner, watched closely by Hayden. Kenna wanting to go back for Senft, actually played it off the skates of the referee. Now Hayden comes together with Aaron Hicks behind the net. Hicks gave along for King. King at the point. Garnhart a shot. He scores! Mason Garnhart past a screened Brendan Pellerito. And 59 seconds into the 3rd period, New Jersey connects once again. It's 5-1. Brendan Pellerito trying to explain to the referee that he was interfered with, the official with deaf ears to the protests, as Pellerito was outside of his crease And so, not even a minute into the period, Mason Garnhart has found the back of the net. And for Garnhart, it is his first goal as a New Jersey Titan. So, a minute into the third, New Jersey scores early on, and they lead the Sea Captains by a 5-1 score. We have a whistle as I believe that puck went off of somebody on the New Jersey bench once again. Third time we've seen that in this game. Actually, the linesman's going to say it went off the pad on the glass stanchion that separates the penalty box from the New Jersey bench. You're starting to see more and more rinks adopt the NHL-style curved piece of glass. Of course, that was a change made in all NHL arenas after a dangerous hit years ago. Zdeno Chara sended then Montreal Canadian Max Pacioretty head first into one of those stanchions. It was a dangerous play, and the NHL came up with a better idea than simply a little piece of padding attached to a metal pole. In the East Division, you'll only see that curved glass up at the Danbury Ice Arena, home of the Junior Hat-Tricks. And they have that curved piece of glass because 2 years ago, they hosted a Hartford Wolfpack AHL preseason game, and that was one of the pieces of equipment that was required. Over 2 minutes gone by now in the third. Pellerito will play it along for Wilkie Cook. Cook sends along for Holton. Passed in front, and fanning on the one-timer was Lupo. Morelli keeps it alive at the blue line. Manahan gloves one down, can't clear. Played off the skates of Ranger. Ethan Ranger turning in the corner. He snaps one up ahead for Holton. Holton at the red line. Gets tripped up from behind. Play continues as Aaron Hicks pleads innocence. Back up ahead. That puck goes off the stick of Hicks, but Ishigaki once again getting behind the Norwich defense cancels out an icing call. We have seen Taito Ishigaki really hustle on down the ice. And that's kept New Jersey in control. One of many things that has gone the Titans' way so far in this game. Sachs and Kenna in the corner. Sachs, nifty little move to get around Kenna the first time. Ishigaki comes in to help out. Hicks there as well for New Jersey. It goes back to the point. Garnhart, a bouncing shot from the point. Pellerito knocked down in front. That's going to be a penalty coming up against the Titans as it's touched up by Senft. And goaltender interference will be the goal, or rather will be the call, as Taito Ishigaki will find himself in the penalty box. So the Sea Captains, they want to come back into this game. The power play goal here is just about mandatory. Sea Captains 0 for 3 with the man advantage. They'll set up shop on the left wing side. There'll be Tegan Beyer up front, along with Jack Kinahan and Nick Sachs. Big Nick Sachs will be anticipated to show up in front of a net and take away the eyes of Alfama. On the blue line, it's Troy Harwell and Tim Hayden. Hayden picks up the drop pass from Harwell, and he surveys his options. Sends it along for Kinahan. Kinahan can't control the pass. Flipped back down into the Norwich zone, and Hayden will retreat back further. Hayden turns away from the pressure of Lupo, now starts gaining some speed. Hayden to the outside. Gets around a pair of forecheckers. Here's Hayden with a shot. Kick save by Alfama. Hayden now carries the puck back up to the point. Gives along for Kinahan. Back for Hayden. Hayden a shot. Saved by Alfama. The rebound comes out. Kinahan a spinning shot. And that goes wide. Harwell can't get it back to Hayden. Poked off of his stick and knocked all the way down the ice by Renbarger. Renbarger chasing after it as Pellerito plays along for Kinahan. Minute to go in the Norwich power play. Kinahan fanned on the outlet pass, picks it up himself, and he'll take it himself over center red and into the New Jersey zone. He scores! Jack Kinahan with a snapshot on the power play, and it's 5-2. Well, we said if Norwich wants to come back into this game that they would need a power play goal, and Jack Kinahan delivers. For Kinahan, it is his 5th goal of the season. And once again, Norwich pulls it within 3. Some zip on that shot by Kinahan, as that managed to fool Donovan Alfama to the glove hand side. So off the ensuing face-off. Big hit in the neutral zone. Going face first into the boards was Jesse Dickinson. Tony Moran was on the receiving end of that hit. Doesn't look like any penalties will arise, but I imagine the training staff will want to take a look at both players after that collision. My goodness. That's the second time now that we have seen Tony Moran get hit in that dangerous area 3-4 feet away from the boards and get driven violently into the wall. But it does not appear as though any penalty will be called. Will remain 5-on-5. And the face-off, I believe, will come down into the New Jersey end, as the official goes from one bench to the other to explain things to both coaching staffs, and Jesse Dickinson will get helped on down to the New Jersey locker room, as he came in somewhat recklessly against Moran. Dickinson at 5'9", Tony Moran at 5'7", and then Dickinson caught his face on the lip of the board. So certainly hope that he's okay, and we'll keep an eye out for his return in this game. Back underway, just about 5 minutes gone by in the third. Both teams have already each scored a goal apiece. Here's Aiden Bain in the neutral zone, shoved off the puck by Hicks. Kenna will flip it back down into the Norwich zone. Hayden goes along for Bain. Now Holton. He'll simply pitchfork one off the boards. Chasing after this is Aiden Bain. Gets away with one as he drove Scherf into the boards before Scherf had a chance to play the puck. Either way, 2-on-2 through the neutral zone as the Titans break into the Norwich end. In front, shot saved by Pellerito as Kenna wanted to go post to post. Now McKinney. He'll rattle one that takes an interesting hop, actually rode along the lip of the boards for a few feet. Given back to the point, Cook a shot, that goes well wide. Now Kenna and Schemmel. Schemmel forces a turnover, now Jack Kinahan. Kinahan avoids most of a hip check from McKinney. Kinahan still battling for the puck. That's the third hit that Kinahan's taken, and he still has possession. Kinahan finally dumped down to the ice. Tony Moran gets a little revenge as he knocks down Hicks. More pushing and shoving in the corner. Finally, Hicks is able to clear. Takes a fortuitous bounce off a glass stanchion for New Jersey, so no icing on the play. Now Renbarger sends it quickly back into the Norwich zone. Lupo unable to force a turnover as Hanahan one-hands one into the New Jersey end. McKinney swings one quickly along for Renbarger. Renbarger's pass intended for Sempt outside of his reach. Sent back down, and Alfama will leave it along for McKinney. 13:25 to go in regulation time. Shots are even at 29 apiece. Here's McKinney flipping one through center ice. Wanted to hook up with Duke Kirsting. Kirsting eventually comes up with the puck. He'll knock Moran down to the ice. Harwell is there for the Sea Captains. Now Tegan Byer. Byer, who has played a physical game himself today, forcing one up the boards. Here's Byer out of the zone. He picks up Kinahan, or check that, Wilkie Cook. Cook swings one into the near side corner outside the reach of Byer. And now Sempt will take it back the other way. Here's Sam Sempt into the New Jersey zone. Has the puck right off of his skates. Looks like he got high sticked on the play, but there's no call coming. Harwell Can't come up with the puck. Now Lupo swings one geometrically off the boards, but too far for Lorenzo Morelli. Puck actually came in on goal, and Pellerito will hold on. So 12.5 to go in regulation time. Sea Captains need 3 to tie. Face off to the left of Brendan Pellerito. On the draw, it'll be Alex Blazak against Ethan Ranger. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, Ethan Ranger, the leading scorer for the Norwich Sea Captains. He has a point in this game with the primary assist on Tony Moran's goal that came back in the second period. Here is Scherf. Canceled out by Holton. Loose puck picked up by Ranger. Goes back to Sachs at the point. Sachs has a shot blocked. And now it's a breakaway back the other way for Parker King. King all alone. Saved by Pellerito. The rebound sent wide by Burns. Holton looking to come up with possession. Leaves it for Sachs, who tries forcing one along further for Hayden, but outside of his reach. Now Sachs again. Held against the wall by Blazak. Play continues. Parker King. Turn the puck over. Ranger goes behind the net for Hayden. Harwell picks it up. Harwell off the boards. Poked by Holton. Harwell once again. Into the New Jersey zone. Harwell a shot. Glove down by Alfama. And he holds on. Donovan Alfama, a former member of the Boston Junior Bruins. Must be nice when he heads on up to Attleboro, home of the Northeast Generals. Get a little bit closer to where you play your youth hockey. Of course, speaking of the Northeast Generals, former General Drew Schemmel on this draw for the Sea Captains. Give it along for Kinahan, whose shot goes off the side of the cage. Now Moran, down low, Aiden Bain. Bain with the puck in his skates, trying to get it onto his stick. Kenna forces him up against the wall. McKinney there as well. McKinney goes tumbling down to the ice. Kinahan from a sharp angle deflects off the stick of Kenna and wide. Flipped out towards center ice. Moran quickly finds Kinahan. Here's Kinahan back along. Given along for Aiden Bain. His backhander was blocked by a New Jersey defenseman, and the Titans are able to clear with 11 minutes to go in regulation time. Turning away from pressure is Aaron Hicks. Hicks then tries to feed Cook coming on through the slot. Ishigaki goes behind, or gives it behind the net. Cook pinching in from the blue line, defensed away by Jamison Bain. Schemmel there in the corner trying to free it on up. Bain there too. But now it will be Kinahan. Jack Kinahan, he stops, he hits the red line, he dumps it down deep and goes off for a change. Alfama leaves it for Sempt. Sam Sempt, I imagine he's just going to hang out behind this net until someone forces him to make a move. Tegan Byer eventually does just that. And the Titans are able to break out. Here's Blazak turning the puck over at center ice. Manahan for Harwell. Harwell at the red line. Gives back for Manahan. Bouncing puck, but Manahan controls, playing one off the boards. Knocked off of his stick. We have a whistle offsides called against the Sea Captains. Surprised that the whistle blew when it did, as Manahan had already controlled the puck inside the New Jersey zone. Looks like the officials are going to talk about it for a moment. That the faceoff will come, or rather will stay outside the New Jersey zone. 10:07 to go in the third. 5-2 your score. Norwich chasing 3. Hayden loves one down at his own blue line, gives along for Tegan Byer. Manahan quickly along Harwell. Harwell spins one towards the net. It was intended for Byer. Byer and Blazak still battling in the far corner. Poked up ahead further, and now Parker King looks to clear. King, glove down by Burns. Here's Cameron Burns to the outside, wanting to give it along for Sempt, who had snuck up ahead on the play. Now here's Tegan Byer back the other way. 1-on-1 coming off the bench is Lupo, and he's able to finally break things up. Harwell on the forecheck, looking to regain possession of the puck. Instead, it's on the stick of Cam Burns. Burns with Schemmel on the forecheck. Pair of Sea Captains down deep. Now Garnhart gaining speed through the neutral zone. His pass goes off the stick of Harwell. Harwell got speared in the stomach. He's looking around for the offending party. Not sure if he's going to find it. Now Harwell still talking behind the play with Brian Lupo. Those two nearly have to be separated by the linesman. Meanwhile, Fama holds on to a puck. Face-off will be in the New Jersey zone with 9:02 to go. And at center ice, Harwell still screaming at Lupo as he's ordered back, or as Harwell's ordered back to the Norwich bench. Last home game in Norwich, we saw a couple fights. And with 9:02 to go in the third, well, the possibility is still there. Of course, any fight that takes place with under 5 minutes to go in the third normally carries an automatic suspension. Here is Ranger picking up a loose puck after Tony Moran sent Parker King down to the ice. Now Cam Holton. Holton, chewing on his mouth guard like Patty Kane, goes behind the net, lost possession of the puck. Morelli canceled out by Schemmel. Loose puck, first one there for New Jersey is Renbarger. His pass cut down at center ice by Ethan Ranger. Now Ranger from the blue line sends one off the shin pads of Morelli. Alfama out of his cage, wraps one around the boards, and the goaltender clears it all the way to as far as the red line. Now Holton can't get it back down deep into the New Jersey zone. Here's Noah Scherf, the defenseman up ahead. Scherf a shot swallowed up by Pellerito, and the face-off will be to Brendan Pellerito's right. Not sure what Noah Scherf had to say to Tim Hayden as Scherf followed up on the play. But 8:14 to go in the third period. Shots still even at 32 apiece now. But New Jersey still holding on to their 3-goal lead. It'll be Alex Blazak on the draw against Tegan Byer as the officials once again pay a visit to the Norwich bench. Now we can get back underway. So Blazak and Byer on the draw. A 50-50 draw gets controlled by the Titans, sent back to the point. A bouncing shot on goal, saved by Pellerito, and we'll do it all over again to his right. Jesse Dickinson back on the ice. Good to see him back. Dickinson now wearing a full cage instead of the half visor that he started the game with. So not sure what the injury was. We just know that it was to the facial area. Dickinson, he's a hockey player. And sporting a couple drops of blood on his jersey, he has the puck in his own end. Dickinson with a pair of goals in this game. His second and third so far this season. He'll play one softly into the zone. Hayden the first one there for Norwich. Turned over in front, saved by Pellerito. The rebound blocked before it ever made its way through. Aiden Bain slaps one around the boards. Manahan looking to clear. Blazak knocks that off of his stick. Now Manahan again. Puck still lost in the pile. Titans come up with it with 7.5 to go. Garnhart, who scored his first goal of the year earlier in this period, knocked off his stick. Jamison Bain tries going up the same side wall. Blazak nearly able to intercept. Byer will get it as far as the red line. Sempt there to collect. Sam Sempt throws one in front. New Jersey nearly had too many men on the ice. Got lucky. Now Aiden Bain back the other way. Bain, a shot, deflects off the high glass. Puck nearly bounces out in front. Instead went off the side of the cage. Titans able to clear. Drew Schemmel at center ice. Having to do battle with Aaron Hicks. Schemmel on the second opportunity gets it as far as the New Jersey blue line where it's collected by Morelli. Morelli sends one off the stick of Ishigaki, so no icing on the play. Pellerito leaves it for Hayden, who goes behind the net for Wilkie Cook. Cook's pass can't be controlled by Kinahan. Kinahan still battling for it. Kenna has possession for the Titans. He gives back to Sempt. You see the patience of Sam Sempt on display, especially here in the third period. Here's Sempt behind the net. And again, he's just going to sit here. New Jersey up by 3. There's no reason for Sempt to have to move this puck. Jack Kinahan will eventually force the play, forcing Sempt out to his backhand side. Sempt chips one into the Norwich zone. Moran goes hard around the boards. Unable to corral the loose puck was Renbarger. Morelli off the bench. Goes back deep. Played off by Garnhart. And now Moran from the red line sends it back down. Delayed offsides against the Sea Captains. So Donovan Alfama simply leaves it behind the net. Now Morelli. He gets smoked out by Kinahan as well. Morelli gets around the forecheck of Ranger, gets around Wilkie Cook as well. Lorenzo Morelli, the defenseman, sends one that goes off the side of the cage. Back up at the point, Hicks fanned on the shot, eventually swings one on goal, off the post. It's behind Pellerito, diving out is Kinahan, and the Sea Captains are able to clear. Now Ethan Ranger, 1-on-3 into the zone. Ranger tried to connect with Moran, who's at the end of his shift. Loose puck picked up by Scherf, sent all the way down the ice. Icing already waved off, even though Nick Sachs was the first one to it. So Sachs with a pair of forecheckers to deal with. Harwell, fresh off the bench, is able to free things up. And now here's Manahan. Played off the boards for Ranger. Puck gets deflected out of play. And the face-off will be in the New Jersey zone with 4:57 to go in the third period. Well, Norwich is getting shots on goal, but they haven't really been able to set up much in the offensive zone. It seems as though a majority of the Norwich shots are either coming from the outside or off of the rush. So face-off in the New Jersey zone. Puck in the far corner as the scrum continues once again. Eventually the Sea Captains come up with it. Harwell tries going back to the point. A backhand shot by Sachs is blocked by Hicks and sent all the way down. Pellerito leaves it behind the cage for Hayden. Now Manahan through center ice. Manahan into the New Jersey zone. Ethan Ranger a snapshot. Karams off the stick of Cam Burns and wide. Chipped off the boards. Harwell able to reach out and take it off the stick of Ishigaki. Now Harwell at center ice. One too many stick handles, leaves an empty puck at the red line, picked up by Ishigaki into the Norwich zone. Ishigaki tries centering it, eventually gives back to Sempt. Sempt a shot, glove save, Brendan Pellerito, and he holds on. Norwich Sea Captains will be in action again on December the 8th. They'll visit the Danbury Junior Hat Tricks on Wednesday. It's a 7 p.m. start right now scheduled in the Hat City. Meanwhile, here are the Titans with 3:50 to go in the third. It's Kenna behind the net. Puck on his backhand in the corner as he deals with Tegan Byer. Goes back behind the cage, now Kenna again. Kenna, a backhand shot, goes wide. Sempt picks up the loose puck on the half wall. Sempt a shot, blocked down by Byer. Byer chips one through center ice, goes over the stick of Aiden Bain. Garnhart picks it up, and now Garnhart, the defenseman, tries dipsy-doodling his way towards the front of the net and gets high-load. We have a whistle as the net has come off of its moorings, and then Garnhart gives a shot to Kinahan after the whistle had already blown. Looks like there's going to be no penalty on the play. So 3:20 to go in the third. And a face-off coming up deep in the Norwich zone. It'll be Schemmel up front alongside Cam Holton. Oh, Norwich only has 4 skaters on the ice. There's Josh Manahan. That equals 5. Tony Moran on the point with Jamison Bain. It's Jamison Bain with the puck. Bain chips one off the glass. McKinney fields at the red line and sends back down into the Sea Captain zone. Moran picks up the loose puck. Moran, without much of an option on the near side wall, just simply chips it off the glass. McKinney corrals at his own blue line. Outlet pass intended for Dickinson. Knocked down by Schemmel. McKinney again. Through center ice, connects up ahead with Cam Burns. Burns in on a breakaway, caught from behind by Moran. He never was able to take a shot. Wilkie Cook looking to clear, unable to do so. Now here's Dickinson. Dickinson on his backhand. Knocked off his stick behind the net. Holton can't get around Blazak. And now Moran with 2.5 to go in regulation time. Tony Moran from the red line, or rather from the goal line, gave it along for Holton. Holton couldn't corral. Now Moran again with 2:20 to go. Up for Manahan. Manahan plays one off the boards. Schemmel is there. Schemmel unable to come up with possession, as it'll be Lupo for New Jersey. Swung up along the boards off the stick of Burns. Icing is called against the Titans. And with 2:05 to go in the third period, Norwich with another offensive zone face-off. Trailing by 3. I doubt that they will pull Brendan Pellerito. It's always a possibility. We'll keep our eyes on Pellerito to our right. Meanwhile, to the left of Alfama, there'll be Ethan Ranger on the draw for the Sea Captains. He's flanked by Harwell and Aiden Bain. Off the draw, clean win by Lupo of New Jersey. Scherf has that knocked off of his stick, sent in front by Bain, and a save by Alfama. As it was Ethan Ranger who actually sent it in front. Aiden Bain took the shot. But Donovan Alfama comes out aggressively in his crease and is able to make the save. Face off once again to his left. Aiden Bain still looking for his first goal in the NA3HL as that shot is deflected out of play. Bain, with now 8 games played, still only has a solitary assist to his credit. 1:54 to go. Lupo. Wilkie Cook keeps it in the zone. Centering feed goes back to Hayden at the point. Hayden gives down low. Aiden Bain. Delayed call coming up against New Jersey. Or check that. We're going to have matching penalties, as the initial call, I believe, was going to go against Noah Scherf. But then away from the play, Ethan Ranger came up high on a New Jersey player. I think that was Lorenzo Morelli, as they were battling in front. And so with $1:43 to go, we'll see what penalties arise out of this. Troy Harwell with a couple words. Ranger has been taken out of the penalty box, and Ethan Ranger is going to be shown the door. So Ranger, just back from suspension, finds himself kicked out of this game with 103 seconds to go. In a game that Norwich trails by 3. We'll see what the official penalty is. And if this is something that may perhaps sideline Ranger again. And again, it was a battle in front between Ranger and Lorenzo Morelli. Puck was on the near side wall, and the initial penalty was going to go against New Jersey. No penalty time has gone up on the board yet. Noah Scherf, I believe it's Scherf, is in the box for the Titans. So referee Dylan Scabelli has certainly had his hands full. Now 2 minutes up on the board for both squads. Looks as though Ranger is going to catch. No, and indeed, the penalty time just changed. Ethan Ranger receives a 5-minute major for head contact. And it's Brian Lupo, not Noah Scherf, in the box for New Jersey. He receives a 2-minute minor for interference. So we'll skate 4 aside. If by some miracle the Sea Captains can score 3 times in the next minute 43 seconds, the Titans would have a major power play going into, or rather 17 seconds into overtime, but obviously a tall task for Norwich to score 3 in that amount of time. Troy Harwell and Drew Schemmel up front for the Sea Caps. Wilkie Cook and Tony Moran on the point. Schemmel tried shooting it on goal off the draw. It was blocked by Hicks. Sempt turns the puck over, and a turnaround shot by Harwell goes wide. Now Sempt again. This time he'll flip it out through the neutral zone. Moran able to cut things down. Up ahead for Harwell. Harwell and McKinney send each other into the corner. Harwell still with possession of the puck. Harwell runs out of room. He has to retreat out towards center ice. 75 seconds to go. Harwell now deep in his own end. Dishes off for Moran. Tony Moran. His pass far side off the stick of Wilkie Cook. The Virginian into the zone. Knocked down to the ice by Hicks. Picked up by Renbarger and given back for Sempt. Sam Sempt with 48 seconds to go. Forced out by Schemmel. Sempt will then send it on back for McKinney, and we'll do it all over again. Now McKinney. Scared out from behind the net by Harwell. Harwell forces a turnover. Here is Schemmel with 30 seconds left. Schemmel, a shot punched down by Alfama. The rebound in front, and Cook on goal, gloved by Alfama, and he'll hold on. Drew Schemmel and Isaiah McKinney coming together. McKinney holding the side of his head. And I think this is going to result in another penalty. 25.5 to go. And it looks as though Isaiah McKinney has been shown the door for New Jersey. Well, McKinney was the one who was holding the side of his head. And now he finds himself getting kicked out of this game. Meanwhile, Drew Schemmel finds himself in the box for Norwich as the penalty ledger continues to fill up. So we'll wait to see what those calls are. Meanwhile, under 30 seconds to play. It's Tegan Beyer on the draw for the Sea Captains. Is this going to be 3-on-3 hockey? Jesse Dickinson finds himself sent to the bench. And then Dickinson gets told to get back out there. Ryan Kenna, you come here. So it's going to be a 5-minute major. A 5-minute major against Isaiah McKinney. No word on what the actual call is. And indeed, we are going to skate 3-on-3. Well, that's one way to cut down on any altercations on the ice. Just have less players out there. Why not? So McKinney picks up a 5-minute major. Schemmel picks up a 2-minute minor. And we'll skate 3-on-3 for the final 20-some-odd seconds. Here's Noah Scherf with 13 seconds to go. Dished along. Pass back for Scherf outside his reach. Wilkie Cook comes together with Scherf in the corner. 5 seconds to go. Hayden able to clear. Here is Beyer at the buzzer. His shot goes wide. And the Norwich Sea